Episode 6 of Paradise Season 2 answers a few questions, but also deepens the mystery surrounding the world of the show. The episode highlights strange supernatural hints that have appeared throughout the series. At the same time, the story explores Jane's past, showing how her childhood trauma and training helped shape her into the dangerous person she becomes. One of the most interesting moments in the episode takes place in a flashback set in the late 1990s. A man who works at a computer repair shop suddenly begins receiving strange messages across multiple platforms. The messages all say the same thing. A killer will be born on June 6th at 12:01 a.m., and this killer can still be stopped if someone delivers an important message to her. The strange part is that these messages are supposedly sent by Alex, the same Alex who we saw die earlier in the series. The repairman becomes convinced that the messages might be real. Because of that, he goes to the hospital where the baby mentioned in the message has just been born. That baby is Jane. He tries to warn the people there, but no one believes him. The hospital staff think he is crazy and remove him from the building. Because of that, the message is never delivered. This moment raises an important question. If the message had been delivered, would Jane's life have been different? Or would she have still grown up to become a violent and unstable person? This scene introduces the theme of fate versus free will. If someone predicted Jane's future before she was even born, it suggests that some events might already be determined. The episode then explores Jane's childhood. We learn that her mother struggled with severe postpartum depression. Because of that, Jane grew up in an environment where she didn't receive proper emotional care or attention. As Jane grows older, she begins talking about an imaginary friend named Climby. At first, this seems harmless, since many children have imaginary friends. However, things become much darker when Climby appears to take control of Jane's actions. At one point, Jane locks her mother and her boyfriend inside a sauna, nearly killing them. When she finally comes to her senses, she releases them. Instead of helping Jane understand what happened, her mother punishes her by locking her inside the same sauna. This moment likely becomes a turning point in Jane's psychological development. Instead of receiving help, she experiences more trauma and isolation. This part of the episode explores how childhood trauma can shape a person's identity. Jane's violent tendencies slowly grew over time because of neglect, punishment, and emotional instability. Climby, her imaginary friend, may represent Jane's darker impulses. Instead of processing her emotions in a healthy way, her mind creates another personality to carry out actions she can't fully control. The show suggests that Jane's later behavior may be the result of years of untreated psychological damage.
You know who got the promotion I was up for? He didn't even apply until he found out I was gunning for it.
Radner's in paramilitary operations. That has nothing to do with what you do. And he's a child. How?
He has a dick.
As an adult, Jane joins a covert CIA training program known as the Farm. Physically and mentally, she is extremely capable. She performs well in nearly every test. However, her psychological evaluations reveal a major problem. Jane tends to face every situation with aggression. Even when she is clearly outmatched, she refuses to back down. One example of this is her rivalry with Radner. Radner is bigger and stronger than her, but Jane keeps challenging him directly instead of using smarter tactics. A woman named Stacy eventually begins mentoring Jane. She teaches her how to fight intelligently rather than emotionally. Instead of attacking head-on, Jane learns to control situations and manipulate outcomes. Eventually, Jane defeats Radner during training. However, after this victory, she learns that Radner still received a promotion that Stacy deserved. Stacy explains that the system is unfair. According to her, men often have advantages when climbing the ranks in organizations like this. Jane reacts to this injustice in an extreme way. She goes to Radner's home and brutally attacks him, removing the part of his body that symbolized his power in a male-dominated system, his penis. Afterward, she calmly visits Stacy and asks if she will receive the promotion now. Jane believes she is correcting an unfair system. In her mind, she is delivering justice. However, her actions show something else entirely. She isn't simply trying to fix a problem. She is trying to control outcomes through violence. This moment shows how Jane views the world. If the system is unfair, she doesn't try to change it. Instead, she eliminates the obstacle. Back in the bunker, political tensions continue to grow. Robinson is placed inside an underground prison along with other people who protested the government. This situation reveals something disturbing about the bunker's leadership. People who challenge the system are treated the same as violent criminals. There are no trials and no fair hearings. The government inside the bunker is becoming increasingly authoritarian. At the same time, Sinatra returns to power after Baines is killed. Technically, she doesn't hold an official leadership position anymore. However, Jane declares that Sinatra will take control again. This moment raises another important question. Who actually decides who leads the bunker? In a functioning government, there would be procedures, elections, or councils making these decisions. Instead, the power structure seems to rely on whoever currently holds the most influence and control. The bunker government operates through fear. When people are afraid, they are less likely to question authority. This is why many citizens inside the bunker appear to accept the situation even when it seems unjust. One of the most interesting character dynamics in the episode is the relationship between Jane and Sinatra. Jane admits that she didn't kill Sinatra earlier because she needed her. Jane may have power and control, but she admits she isn't good at diplomacy. Sinatra, on the other hand, is extremely skilled at negotiation and leadership. Jane sees her as someone who can manage the political side of power. Because of Jane's troubled childhood, it is also possible that she views Sinatra as a mother figure. This could explain why she protects her while eliminating other threats. Jane repeatedly mentions the word purpose. She believes her actions are part of something larger, even if she doesn't fully understand it yet. This idea connects back to the mysterious predictions about the future. If Jane was destined to become a killer, then her actions may be connected to a bigger plan involving Alex and the unknown project Sinatra is working on.
Sit down. In the emergency control room on the systems level, if the oxygen supply is shut off, all the doors automatically open. All of them, for everyone in paradise.
While the leaders argue about power, resistance is growing inside the bunker. Jeremy and Anders develop a plan to shut down the oxygen supply in the facility. This would trigger emergency protocols and open the blast doors, allowing them to escape prison and possibly allow Link's group to enter the bunker. At the same time, Link is gathering supporters outside the bunker. His group is slowly growing stronger. Jane eventually negotiates with Link, allowing him to enter the bunker with 5 men as long as they are unarmed. Outside the bunker, Xavier prepares to rescue Teri. His plan is to plant a bomb near a train convoy. The explosion will distract the soldiers, allowing him to sneak in and rescue her. Before executing the plan, Xavier shares a story about his son destroying toy trains instead of letting them run properly. He uses this story to describe humanity's destructive nature. Humans often destroy things that are working perfectly well. This behavior can also be seen in how humanity treats the planet. Xavier's speech highlights one of the biggest themes of the entire series. Humanity may be responsible for its own downfall. Earth is the only known planet that supports life, yet humans constantly damage it through greed, arrogance, and short-term thinking. The episode ends with one of the most shocking moments of the season. Gary betrays Xavier. Just as Xavier prepares to plant the bomb, Gary activates the detonator early, and the explosion nearly kills Xavier. Luckily, Xavier survives the explosion. When he regains consciousness, he sees a familiar face, Teri. This moment completely changes the situation. It suggests that the convoy might not actually be the enemy. Instead, Gary may be the real villain in this storyline. Episode 6 raises more questions than it answers. The mystery surrounding Alex continues to grow. Jane's past reveals how dangerous she truly is, and the tension inside the bunker is slowly reaching a breaking point. At the same time, Xavier's story takes a dramatic turn after Gary's betrayal, especially now that Teri appears to be working with the convoy. With Link preparing to enter the bunker and a possible rebellion forming from the inside, it feels like all these storylines are slowly moving toward the same point. The biggest question now is what Alex's prediction really means, and whether the future we've been seeing is something that can still be changed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.